Hello everyone, and happy Easter if you celebrate it. If not, happy week and welcome to my wrap-up video of March 2023 in books. I know I missed the last video. I know I missed 2 videos in March, I think. Life got really busy. I had a lot of work to do and a lot of other stuff. And yeah, you'll notice this also probably in the amount of books I'm going to talk about. My guess is that this will be a rather short video because I didn't get that much reading done. But here on Easter weekend in Germany, we have the Friday and the Monday off. So I'll have a lot of time to film videos, and I've already planned all the videos for April, so I hope I won't miss a week in April. Wish me luck with that, I guess. But without further ado, let's just go into the books I've read last month. And yeah, what can I say? I only read 4 books. Well, let's say 3 books and 1 comic book. So at the beginning of March, I thought that my reading was going really, really well. I read 2 or 3 books in the first 2 weeks, but then the last 2 weeks were really, really busy and I almost got no reading done. Only in the last few days of March, I read a bit more. But I hope it's going to be better in April. Let's talk about the first book I read in March, and this was North American Lake Monsters by Nathan Ballingrud. I already made a video on this one. Watch it if you haven't already. You can find it here. I like this collection. It's a short story collection, a one-author short story collection. The themes in here are that we're following, in most of the stories we're following like outcasts or people who don't really fit into our society. These are stories about love, but also about horror. We find real monsters in here, like there's a story with vampires, there's a real lake monster in here, but in almost all of the stories, the real monsters are the people in the stories, like the real humans. Yeah, please check out the video on that. I like this one. The second book I read in March was Bad Cree by Jessica Jones. This is a novel. We're following a Cree woman called Mackenzie. She has weird dreams about her sister, and she notices that she can bring some things back from the dreams, and it really, really scared her. And I super enjoyed this book. The author, Jessica Jones, is Cree as well, I believe. I can only recommend this book. I'm going to do a video on this one. I hope I release it in next week or the week after. I haven't really planned out which video I want to release at which time. But yeah, there's definitely going to be a video on this one. This is a lot about identity. It's about LGBTQ, but it's also about the identity of the Cree people living in Canada. It's also how they can kind of connect their spiritual or traditional lives or their traditions with city life or the modern life. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. The next book I want to talk about is actually this comic book here. It's Dream Country, the 3rd book in Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. And I did not enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the other 2, mainly because you don't really have a story arc in here. I feel like the stories in here are all separate from each other. I mean, we get to know the characters a bit more, We learn a lot about Dream, but we also get to know Death, Dream's sister, a bit better. And I mean, I did like this one. I already started the next one, which kind of continues the story arc of the first two. I'm really, really into it. But while I didn't like this one as much as the first two, I still did like it. So let's get to the last book I read in March, or I actually listened to it as an audiobook, and this is The Black Guy Dies First by Robin Coleman and Mark Harris. And I really like this one. It's a nonfiction book. It's about black people in horror movies. So what the book does is that it covers mostly all of the time horror movies were a thing, and it talks about how the role of black actors or black directors changed with the movies and with the times. It talks about certain archetypes, which are mainly for black actors. Like there's the spook who always gets scared about everything. There's like the gangster in the 90s or the beginning of the 2000s, where a lot of hip hop artists got into movies. And yeah, it talks about a lot of other stuff. The book really changed my perspective on how to watch horror movies and how to maybe look at minorities, especially black people, but of course other minorities, when watching horror movies. They're also talking about Jordan Peele, for example, who is one of the most famous black horror directors of the last years, who has put out great movies which with a focus on black people, and I really enjoyed those. And yeah, I'm kind of interested on how the horror movie scene changes in regards to minorities and black people. So those were the 4 books I read this month. Not very many, but yeah, it happens. Hopefully April is getting better. So now let's talk about the books I bought in March. So I'm really, really proud with myself. I think in February I bought like 6 or 7 books, and in March I only bought 2. And only books I really, really wanted to read. Both of those are books that are like, I saw the title and I saw what they were about, and I knew those books were written for me. So the first one is Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman, and this is medieval horror. If you have watched any videos of mine, you probably know that I'm a huge fan of medieval stuff, historic stuff, and if you mix medieval stuff with horror, that's really my jam. I haven't started with this one yet. I hopefully will read this in April. I think it's about it's set in France in the time of the plague. So like the big plague, the Black Death, and I'm super excited for this one. And the other book I've already started. This is Howls from the Dark Ages, which is a short story collection by different authors. And this is also medieval horror. I've already gotten started with this one. I think about right before the halfway mark. I'm hopefully finishing this one this weekend because I'm really enjoying this one. I love medieval stuff. I love horror. Those are books I really do enjoy. And yeah, those were all the books I bought this month. So let's just quickly talk about the books I want to read in April. So the first one I already talked about, which is Between Two Fires. But then there's 2 other books I probably want to read this month. Let's see what happens. The first one is The Destroyer of Worlds, A Return to Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. I just finished Lovecraft Country. I really did like it, and yeah, I found out that there's going to be a second book, and I really want to find out what that one is about. And the third book I want to read this month is Lone Women by Victor LaValle, who is also the author of The Ballad of Black Tom, which I really did enjoy. He's also writing kind of cosmic horror. I haven't read what Lone Women is about, but I'm really excited for it because I like Victor LaValle. And yeah, let's see in my we're gonna see in my April review if I got to read any of those books. And if you've watched any of my wrap-up videos, we're now starting with the last part where I quickly want to talk about the music I'm listening to right now. Have you guessed it? If not, it's probably because of my playing, not because you don't know the song. This was Zombie by the Cranberries. I really got back into the Cranberries. I just started rewatching Derry Girls, which is a series that you can watch on Netflix. It's about the Troubles in Ireland. It's a comedy series. And I noticed that there was a 3rd season, which I haven't watched yet. I also only watched the beginning of the 2nd season, I guess, but I really liked it. And the Cranberries are a major part of the soundtrack of the series. So I really got back into their music. I liked them very much. Still made great music, very good. Great music. The second artist I just found out about is Lizzie McAlpine, who is kind of doing acoustic stuff, which I enjoy quite a lot. And what's kind of weird is that both of these artists, like Lizzie McAlpine and the Cranberries, they use with a clean voice, so you can understand what they're saying, which is usually not music I can listen to when I'm reading, but it kind of works right now. But yeah, I put songs of them in the description, so you can maybe check them out. And yeah, what are you listening to right now? I'm really interested about that. And with that, I'm going to finish this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was not that much I talked about. I hope the April wrap-up will be longer, and I promise you that